Is it possible to start a poker bankroll from $20? Hello, this is Cardmates. Players often wonder if it's possible to build a poker bankroll starting from $20. It is important to understand that with this approach, there's a big risk of losing everything and staying with zero in the account. Even if you start with the smallest limit in online poker, you will still only have 10 buy-ins, which you can lose easily. So it's better to start the game with at least $50. Then you will have 25 buy-ins for cash games or 50 buy-ins for tournaments. However, you can try to build a bankroll from $20. In what format is it worth playing with a $20 bankroll? The first decision to make: cash games, sit-and-go or multi-table tournaments. This issue needs to be taken seriously because it's very important for a poker player to choose one discipline. Then you can concentrate on it and make every effort to achieve a high level. If you're a beginner player, then you can go through experiments. You can safely try different formats to understand which game suits you best. Let's look at the features on each format for playing with a small bankroll. Cash games. Most popular poker rooms now offer NL2 as the smallest limit for playing cash online. This is a game with 1 cent 2 cents blinds. That is, you will have 1,000 big blinds for this limit. In most poker rooms, you can go to the NL2 table with a minimum buy-in of 40 BB, so your bankroll will give you 25 buy-ins for the game. However, if you use the Pocket-Dope Poker variance calculator, you can see this. Mid-level players have a 76.83% chance of losing their entire bankroll with $20 bankroll. To obtain this data, a simulation was performed with a sample of 100 million hands. This study once again demonstrated why it is so important to follow proper bankroll management. At the same time, you need to understand that playing at micro limits is not very difficult. Just play ABC poker. Stick to a tight game and make value bets with strong hands. If you ensure a confident win rate of more than 2.5 BB on 100, you can reduce the risks of a downswing. Sit-and-go. The next thing you can try with a $20 bankroll is sit-and-go tournaments. These tournaments can be found with a buy-in of $1, which means you will have about 20 buy-ins. But this is not enough, so you need to be prepared for the fact that you can lose everything. Try to realistically assess your situation and risks, and this approach will help you avoid tilt-related problems. Perhaps in the S&G tournaments you will get lucky. You win a few in a row and significantly increase your bankroll. The main thing is not to forget that after that you need to maintain the right approach to bankroll management and continue to play the cheapest tournaments. MTT – Multi-Table Tournaments. With a $20 bankroll, multi-table tournaments are not the best option for the game. Correct bankroll management for MTT provides at least 100 buy-ins for each limit. And since the cheapest tournaments are usually for $1, it is advisable to start with a starting bankroll of $100. Remember that cheap MTTs often attract a lot of players, over 1,000 players, so getting into prizes will be difficult. 20 buy-ins for multi-table tournaments is a risky undertaking, but you can try your luck. What else can help to play with the $20 bankroll? You also need to decide on the strategy of the game and building your bankroll. Do you want to take risks and try your best to quickly build a big bankroll? Or are you ready to play along and slow in order to reduce the risks? Also regarding the style of the game. For more experienced players who are willing to take risks, a loose aggressive style of play will suit. Although for most players, this is not recommended. Do not forget that poker is a marathon. Tight game. For a small bankroll, the best solution would be to use a tight strategy. What does it mean? You should only play strong starting hands, which will help reduce variance. Good advice would be: play the top 15% of hands in 9 max format. Play the top 20% of hands in 6 max format. However, a tight game does not mean passive. If you have already entered the hand, do not be afraid to play, bet and raise. A tight aggressive game is your best bet. Remember that weak opponents play against you because of the limits where you are. Freerolls. With such a small starting bankroll, you should pay special attention to free-rolls. This experience is especially useful for you if in the future you plan to play multi-table tournaments. Useful tips for playing free-rolls. First, at the beginning of the game, play tight. Second, do not bluff against unknown opponents. Third, In the early stages, go all in with premium hands only. 4th, in the middle stages, move on to a tight aggressive game. 5th, at the bubble stage, press on opponents. Conclusion: poker players recommend starting with a bankroll of at least $50. But if you make an effort, then you can try to start with a smaller amount. You must choose the appropriate format for the game, and do not forget about free rolls. During the game, it's recommended using a tight aggressive style of play. Choose the right format, play tight aggressive style, and use the maximum possible number of free rolls. More poker videos at cardmates.net.